Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to build your very first analytics toolkit from the ground up. And guess what? We're starting with the one tool that literally every single data analyst, from the newest intern all the way up to the chief data officer, keeps in their back pocket. Good old Microsoft Excel. Let's dive in. You know, when you're just starting out in data analytics, it can feel, well, pretty overwhelming, right? You hear about all these complex tools like Python and R, all these database languages, and it's so easy to just get lost and wonder, where on earth do I even begin? You start right here. Seriously, let's just forget all that noise for a moment. We're going to begin with the foundational tool that's on pretty much every business computer in the entire world. Trust me, this is exactly the right place to be. Now, I know what you might be thinking. With all this fancy software out there, why Excel? Well, because it's still absolutely essential. It's where most data analysts get their start, and it is perfect for doing quick, powerful analysis when you don't need to build a massive, complex system. So let's start building our toolkit. The very first set of tools we're going to look at are for summarizing your data. Think of these as your digital magnifying glass and measuring tape. They're all about helping you get a quick, high-level picture of what's really going on in your datasets. These 5 functions right here, they are the absolute workhorses of analysis. Seriously, let's say you have a long list of sales. With some, bam, you've got your total revenue in 1 second. With average, you can instantly find the average purchase price. And the count functions? Oh, they're crucial. You could use COUNTA on a list of customer names to immediately know exactly how many sales you made. Okay, now this is a big one. The difference between count and COUNTA. This is a classic trip-up for beginners. Here's the deal. Use count when you only want to count cells with numbers in them, like how many units were sold. Use COUNTA when you want to count every cell that isn't empty, like counting every single customer record. It's a tiny difference in letters that makes a huge difference in your accuracy. Next up, let's add some basic but super powerful statistical tools. Min and max are awesome for finding the range of your data. What was your single biggest sale? Max has you covered. What was the smallest? That's min. Now, median is incredibly useful. If you have a few massive sales that might throw off your average, median gives you the true middle point. And mode? It just quickly tells you what's most popular, like the most common product price. All right, so we've summarized our data. Now, let's do something really cool. Let's give our spreadsheet a brain. We're moving on to logical functions, and these allow Excel to actually make decisions based on the data it's seeing. This is where the real magic starts to happen. Meet the big 3, if, and, or. These are the fundamental building blocks for creating smart spreadsheets. Think of if as the main decision maker, and or are its advisors, helping it check multiple things at once before it makes a call. So let's break down the if function. It's actually super simple. It has just 3 parts. First, the condition. That's the question you're asking, like, is this sale bigger than $1,000? Second, what should Excel do if the answer is yes? And third, what should it do if the answer is no? That's it. Simple but incredibly powerful. And here's a perfect example of it in action. This formula is looking at the value in cell B2. If it's over 1,000, it automatically labels that sale high value. If it's not, it gets labeled low value. Now just imagine applying that to thousands of rows in a split second. You've instantly segmented all your data. But this is where it gets really, really cool. You can actually put the and or functions inside the I function. This lets you check for multiple criteria at the same time before making a decision. For example, check this out. We're checking 2 things at once here. If the sale in B2 is over $10,000 and the number of items they bought in C2 is more than 5, then we're going to label this customer as premium. If not, they're just regular. See, this is how you start building sophisticated business logic right inside your spreadsheet. Okay, time to switch gears and talk about our next set of tools, which is just absolutely critical. Before you can analyze data, you almost always have to clean it. So think of text functions as your digital soap and sponge, helping you tidy up messy data, which, by the way, is a huge part of any analyst's job. These functions right here will solve so many common data headaches. Ever have a column with a full product code, but you only need the first 3 letters? Use the left function. Need to combine a first name column and a last name column into a full name? Concatenate, or even just the simple ampersand symbol, does it for you instantly. These are massive time savers. Okay, for our final section, we're talking about the power moves. We've covered summarizing, logic, and cleaning. Now let's get into the foundational concepts that unlock true efficiency. This is all about working smarter, not harder. Oh, we have all been there, right? You write the absolute perfect formula, you drag it down to copy it, and everything just breaks. It's so frustrating. But why? The answer is one of the most crucial concepts in all of Excel: understanding cell references. The key to all of this is the dollar sign. Seriously, that's the whole secret. By default, references like A1 are relative. They shift around when you copy them, but the little dollar sign acts like an anchor. If you put dollar signs on both the column and the row, like $A$1, that's an absolute reference. It is locked in place. It will never change no matter where you copy that formula. You can also mix them to lock just the row or just the column. It gives you total control. And here's the pro tip that will save you literally hours of your life. Instead of manually typing in those dollar signs, just click on a cell reference in your formula and press the F4 key on your keyboard. It will automatically cycle through all 4 reference types for you. It's a total game changer. Here's another power move for you: named ranges. Instead of writing a formula that looks like equals sum B2 to B100, which is kind of hard to read, you can just give that whole range of cells a name, like sales data. Then your formula becomes equals sum sales data. It's so much more readable and way easier to manage, especially in big spreadsheets. Finally, let's talk about data validation. This is a proactive tool. It's all about preventing errors before they can even happen. It lets you control exactly what kind of data can be put into a cell. You can create drop-down lists, set rules to only allow numbers between certain values, or make sure it's a valid date. It's about keeping your data clean from the very start. So let's just step back and look at the awesome toolkit we've just put together. We started with our magnifying glass, tools like sum and average to see the big picture. Then we gave our spreadsheet a brain with logic like if, and or. We got our soap and sponge with text functions to clean up any mess. And finally, we mastered the power moves, cell references, named ranges, and data validation that will make all your work so much faster and more accurate. You now have the fundamental toolkit for pretty much any data analysis task you'll face in Excel. Your tools are ready, so the only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?